welcome to E-Town News, जहां आपको मिलेगा daily dose of Bollywood news, fashion trends, TV and social media से जुड़े हर update. A show which gives you the day's lowdown of all the best happenings in the world of glamour. तो इंतजार किस बात का? Let's take a look at today's headlines. रणबीर कपूर की मॉम नीतू कपूर ने बताया क्यों वो रणबीर कपूर और रिद्धिमा कपूर के साथ रहने की बजाय रहती हैं अकेले। फिल्म सरदार का ग्रैंडसन की टीम ने जूम से की कैंडिड कॉन्वर्सेशन। कटरीना कैफ की बर्थडे पार्टी में हुई सलमान खान शाहरुख खान की अनबन का किस तरह हुआ था दी एंड एट एन इफ्तार पार्टी। रणबीर कपूर के साथ नहीं रहती उनकी मॉम नीतू कपूर, ना ही अपनी डॉटर रिद्धिमा कपूर के साथ रहती हैं नीतू कपूर। क्या अपने बच्चों के साथ रहना नीतू कपूर को नहीं है पसंद, या अपने बच्चों की प्राइवेसी के लिए नीतू कपूर रहती हैं मुंबई के अपने घर में अकेली। नीतू कपूर ने अपने एक इंटरव्यू में इन सवालों का डिटेल में दिया है जवाब। नीतू कपूर ने रिवील किया है कैसे वो जानबूझकर अपने बच्चों से रहती हैं अलग। ऋषि कपूर की सैड डिमाइस के बाद काफी वक्त तक नीतू कपूर के साथ उनकी डॉटर रिद्धिमा कपूर रही थीं। लेकिन नीतू कपूर ने खुद ही कहा है कि उन्होंने पुश करके रिद्धिमा कपूर को वापस उनके घर दिल्ली भेजा क्योंकि उन्हें उनकी प्राइवेसी है पसंद। नीतू कपूर का कहना है, आई वॉन्ट देम टू बी बिजी विद देयर लाइव्स। आई से मेरे दिल में रहो, मेरे सर पे मत चढ़ो। Stay in my heart, don't stand on my head. When Riddhima was with me for the pandemic, I was so stressed for 1 year because she couldn't go back. I used to get so restless. I used to tell her, Riddhima, go back. Bharat is alone. I was literally pushing her away. I like my privacy. I'm used to this way of life. नीतू कपूर का कहना है कि अब उन्हें अकेला रहना पसंद है, लेकिन जब उनकी डॉटर रिद्धिमा कपूर पढ़ाई के लिए लंदन जा रही थीं, तब वो काफी ज्यादा रोई थीं। लेकिन बाद में जब रणबीर कपूर गए फॉर हिज स्टडीज, तब तक वो बदल चुकी थीं। I remember when Riddhima was going to London to study, I used to howl for days. If someone would even come to meet her and say goodbye, I used to start crying. But when years later Ranbir went, I didn't. He told me, Mom, you don't love me? But it isn't that. It was just that I had gotten used to that life of living away from a child. So when it happened again, I was prepared. I think those times when they were abroad made me stronger and made me feel that I am okay being alone. नीतू कपूर का ये भी कहना है कि वो चाहती हैं कि उनके बच्चे अपनी लाइफ को जिएं और अपनी लाइफ में सेटल हों। Also, they have to get on with their lives. I get happy when they come, but I want them to go back to their homes and be settled. I just say one thing. Don't meet me every day, but stay connected. I don't want them to be around me all the time. I'm very independent that way. I love my life the way it is. साफ है नीतू कपूर फिलहाल इंडिपेंडेंटली रहना चाहती हैं और अब जबकि उन्होंने फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में वापसी का फैसला किया है, she will be busy with her work. वैसे नीतू कपूर को अक्सर उनके कृष्णा राज बंगलो की कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट पर देखा गया है with रणबीर कपूर and आलिया भट्ट. Reportedly, it is being made into 17 to 18 floors, जिसमें एक फ्लोर पर जिम होगा, एक फ्लोर पर सर्वेंट्स रूम्स। इस बंगलो के कंप्लीट होने पर नीतू कपूर और उनकी फैमिली इसमें साथ में रहेंगे या नहीं, ओनली टाइम विल टेल। वैसे आपको बता दें, नीतू कपूर, वरुण धवन, कियारा आडवाणी और अनिल कपूर स्टारर फिल्म जुग जुग जियो से सिल्वर स्क्रीन पर वापसी कर रही हैं।
Hello everyone, my name is Ruchikaa and welcome to Speak Easy. I really hope that all of you are safe in your house, your family and your friends are safe. So I have the team of Sardar Ka Grandson with me and they're going to tell us why it's actually a really good time and sort of comforting to watch this right now.
Well, I did this film, see, when I signed the film, I signed it completely because I love my grandparents beyond anything else. I've grown up around them in a joint family. I had my dadi dada pampering me, I had my nani nana pampering me. So when I heard this film, for me, Sardar is exactly how my nani was, and there are traits of all my other grandparents somewhere bestowed upon Sardar. So I impulsively did it 2 years back, not knowing what the world would be like.
Yeah.
When I signed on to this film about 18 months back, almost 2 years now, it was a very different time, but the emotion was constant. Today, more than ever, we crave family more because of what the world has been through, is going through. It is, I guess, a relevant film for you to reconnect emotionally with the people that really matter at the end of the day, and all the chaos around you in the world, all the running around that we try to make money, make a name, make fame, create a life for our future. We've forgotten our present. And I think this is the kind of film that really makes you realize to live in the moment, to cherish what you have, to appreciate the sacrifices that the family has made to make you the person that you are. It could be anything in this film that can inspire you to reconnect with the family. You know, it could be any small little detail. And I believe, when I heard it, when I read it, I believe, when I performed it, I believe कि कोई ना कोई कहीं ना कहीं कोई ना कोई कनेक्ट ढूंढ लेगा इन किरदारों के साथ.
Arjun, Rakul, and Niyaji, aapse bhi, to tell me the lessons that have been passed on to you. Lesson sounds very preachy, so I will, sort of use another word for it. Probably things that you observed from your grandparents, or like an incident that you always will stay with you and have sort of contributed to who you are today.
I am not a correct person to answer because unfortunately I never had grandparents,
Sure. What about your mother?
Oh my God. Actually, my father lived with me last many years. I mean, he passed away a few years ago. He was like my man, I always say. I never had a man living with me. I mean, before I got married also.
Correct.
So I lived alone, and I always used to say he's my man because he looked after my whole household. उनके पजामे में सुबह जो पजामा पहनते थे, सुबह व्हाइट कलर का, तो उसमें वो पैसे रख लेते थे क्योंकि सारा दिन पैसे देने पड़ते थे. अब तो सब ऑनलाइन हो जाता है, तो घंटी बजती थी and he used to take out money. And one thing I'll tell you, something happened in my society and somebody was very rude to me and I was crying and all. My father fought. He says, मैं तू देख, इसने तेरी बेइज्जती किया ना, what I will do. And he did it. पूरा उन्होंने पलट दिया पूरा उस society का सारा रंग. And he fought because somebody was insulting me. So he was a rock besides me, although he did not like what I did vis-a-vis not marrying and having a child, but he was like that. So that's what I know. I mean, all these other people, they have been with their grandparents and they would tell you better things because I have not been with them much.
So my nani was way ahead of her times in the way she conducted herself. She was at that time literally a woman in a man's world. She was making films in 1991, 1992. She was producing films. She made TV serials with my mother. My mother had to step in and start working at that point in time. And they made films together. They made a studio together. They made TV shows together. My Masi was part of it. So I guess for me to see my nani survive at that point in time ferociously in the way how Sardar is, it's not like she was meek, vulnerable, or apologetic for being in this profession. She owned who she was, and I think that's a very important aspect that I feel, not for myself. I feel when my sister is working, or when my sisters are working, when I have my co-actors, when I have my director, when I have people around who are female, I really feel I'm able to respect and not get insecure about having somebody doing a good job. I think male ego is a very dangerous thing when it comes to our profession because we constantly strive to get that upper hand in our profession. You know, there is always this craving and we always want that upper hand. So I think growing up around a woman who worked till her dying day, she was when she had cancer, she passed away in the hospital. And before that also, when I met her, she whispered, she called me like how Sardar calls. And she told me a few things in my ear which were related to my life, my finances. So I really regard women more in my life because I've had strong women, of course, but I think it all stems from seeing my nani survive a very difficult profession. The 90s in this industry, I'm sure Neena ma'am was coming in there and working. She would know it was not an easy place, especially the number of women versus men. So I think I always respect women, and the lack of ego comes from the fact that I look at women as an equal only because I've seen my nani work so much and imbibe that in my mother also. She taught my mother to work because my mother started working at 32. So for a mother to tell her daughter, instead of saying कि तू अपने मायके में बैठे रहे, कुछ मत कर और तेरा हक तुझे मिलना चाहिए, come on, let's make a life, keep you busy, keep you occupied, build something to look forward to. I think there is no bigger quality a parent or a mother can put into a child than to be self-sufficient and to make them feel proud of who they are. To see that, I would really love to be that kind of a parent or a grandparent where I always encourage it, with the pampering, of course.
My nani, one thing I really learned from is patience. She's always been like, Zen mode, that everything will happen. जो वाइगरू नु मंजूर, my dadu used to also say, it's a Punjabi thing. मतलब कुछ भी बोल दो, ये हो गया वो हो गया, जो वाइगरू नु मंजूर. So I think all these qualities.
अब भगवान की इच्छा के सामने हम, it's like,
हम क्या, yeah.
Even though there is so much opinion on social media or otherwise, the industry standards of what works, what's the hit, what's the flop, and I feel you are getting this opportunity. I think you were brilliant in Sandeep and Pinky Ferrar, and I see this film, which is so heartwarming. It's like the Arjun Kapoor 2.0, which is not a bad thing at all, right?
Today I'm celebrating my 9th year. Today is 9 years since Ishaq
Oh,
Zade.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. So I've been here 9 years and I'll be here 90 more years. And that's
Bravo.
pretty much what I know, whether it's being in front of the camera or behind it. I'm far better than most people on social media will give me credit for, because I'm an easy target. I live with a certain regard and respect, and I don't indulge in giving back and talking and trying to talk myself up. I'm a commercially successful actor for most part of my career. We all have slumps and blips. The biggest stars have to go through this to become even bigger, because you learn from your mistakes. It's very important to watch what you're doing, listen to your audience. I listen to my audience and I completely regard and respect them not appreciating a few of the films I've done. That बहुत सारा आंखों पे, because उन्होंने पैसे दिए मेरे फिल्म देखने के लिए, उनका पूरा हक बनता है to have an opinion and to give me feedback, and that is what box office is. I do not pay attention to what that side that you're talking about, because that is fake.
Yeah.
That is a lot of personal angst and frustration of a lot of people who are dealing with their own inner issues, which they project. And if I'm that punching bag, so be it. It doesn't bother me, because यार जब फिल्म रिलीज होती है थिएटर में, आप कुछ भी बोल लो, eventually पानीपत open to 5 crore rupees. That's a lot of money. It could have opened to 10. That's a hypothetical. But at a starting point, there are still people putting in 5 crore rupees on the first day to watch my film. उसके बाद तो फिल्म की जर्नी होती है. तो मेरा starting point तो उतना है ही on a bad day. So practically, if you break it down, you have to also give yourself a pat on the back. You don't survive 9 years without being good at something. People like Nikhil Advani don't come and sign you to do a film that is so expensive. If for whatever it's worth, Sardar Ka Grandson, I know my contribution to making sure that this film becomes what it is. So you can't negate that today when I'm doing a booth police or a villain. I know what my value is, and I know the industry knows my value. Hits and flops happen. I completely understand where you're coming from, and I completely understand there is a certain audience that is very fond of me, that wants me to do better.
Correct.
And that is something that is very heartwarming to know. And it is good to have people who don't like you, because you get to turn them. But ये किसने कहा है कि पहले 3 साल में ही आपको ब्लॉकबस्टर देगी, या पहले 4 साल में ही आपको नंबर 1 बनना है, या पहले 10 साल में ही? If you look at Akshay sir, you look at Ajay sir, you look at careers of the biggest stars. You see, there is John in our film. He's such a big, important, relevant name today. You know, he's been through phases of highs and lows. Whether you cannot get caught up in the lows, believing that is your reality, or the high is your reality. Your reality is you have to do good work. So I'm glad if a Sandeep or Pinky connects with you, because for me that's good work.
सलमान खान और शाहरुख खान अब हैं अच्छे दोस्त। लेकिन आज से कुछ सालों पहले सलमान खान ने क्यों कहा था भगवान भी उनकी और शाहरुख खान की दोस्ती नहीं करवा सकता? आखिर ऐसा क्या हुआ था कटरीना कैफ की बर्थडे पार्टी में कि सलमान खान और शाहरुख खान के बीच हो गई थी फाइट? 16 जुलाई 2008 से लेकर 2013 ईद तक सलमान खान और शाहरुख खान एक दूसरे से मिलना तो दूर बात तक नहीं करते थे। रिपोर्टेडली 2008 से पहले शाहरुख खान और सलमान खान बेस्ट ऑफ बडीज तो नहीं थे, लेकिन इनके बीच ऐसी कोई बड़ी प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं थी। लेकिन कहा जाता है कि कटरीना कैफ की बर्थडे पार्टी में किसी बात को लेकर शाहरुख खान और सलमान खान में अनबन हो गई एंड दे बोथ स्टॉर्म्ड आउट ऑफ द पार्टी। उस पार्टी के ठीक बाद सलमान खान और शाहरुख खान ने मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स पर ज्यादा कुछ नहीं कहा, लेकिन सलमान खान ने अपने एक इंटरव्यू में कहा, "Only God can come and make us friends again, and that is not happening." सलमान खान का ये बयान सुनकर साफ हो गया था कि देयर इज सम सीरियस प्रॉब्लम बिटवीन सलमान खान एंड शाहरुख खान। सलमान खान जब एक और टेलीविजन शो पर पहुंचे थे तो उन्होंने शाहरुख खान को लेकर कहा था, I have always loved Shahrukh like a younger brother. Somewhere I am hurt. सलमान खान ने कई मौकों पर खुलकर कहा that he was not in good terms with शाहरुख खान and he is hurt. वहीं शाहरुख खान ज्यादातर सलमान खान के साथ इक्वेशन पर चुप ही रहे, लेकिन करण जौहर ने जब अपने शो कॉफी विद करण में शाहरुख खान से पूछा, Do you think Salman Khan has a problem with you because you couldn't keep up with the friendship? और शाहरुख खान ने इन अ वे सलमान खान से दोस्ती खराब होने के लिए खुद को जिम्मेदार बताया था। That's what I said. I can't keep friends. I don't know how to keep friends. I take all the credit for the fact that people love me. But if people dislike me, it has nothing to do with them. It's all on me. लेकिन आगे शाहरुख खान ने ये भी कहा that he cannot say sorry. If Salman has an issue with me, 100% I have let him down. Farah has an issue with me, 100% I have let her down. If you, Karan Johar, have an issue with me, then I have let you down. And I feel sad that I have let people down. The funny thing is, as much as I know how to say sorry, I can't get myself to say sorry. And it has got nothing to do with you. साफ है सलमान खान और शाहरुख खान ने पब्लिकली अपने बीच की प्रॉब्लम को एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया था और सबको लगा था शायद ही ये कभी दोस्त बन पाए। लेकिन फिर बाबा सिद्दीकी की 2013 में हुई इफ्तार पार्टी में सलमान खान और शाहरुख खान आमने सामने आए तो न सिर्फ इन दोनों स्टार्स ने एक दूसरे को हग किया, बल्कि कहा जाता है इसी पार्टी में इनका पैचअप भी हो गया। और उसके बाद से दे आर अगेन बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स। जहां शाहरुख खान ने सलमान खान की फिल्म ट्यूबलाइट में किया स्पेशल कैमियो, वहीं सलमान खान ने भी शाहरुख खान की फिल्म जीरो में एक खास सॉन्ग पर किया परफॉर्म। एंड नाउ दे आर ऑल सेट टू बी सीन इन फिल्म पठान। साफ है बॉलीवुड में अक्सर अनबन के बाद स्टार्स एक दूसरे से दूर हो जाते हैं, लेकिन कहते हैं ना, टाइम इज द बेस्ट हीलर। सलमान खान और शाहरुख खान के केस में यही बात सच साबित होती है। कमिंग अप ऑन द शो, क्या शाहीर शेख जल्द सुनाएंगे एक गुड न्यूज? क्या शाहीर शेख जल्द ही बनने वाले हैं डैडी? क्या न्यूली वेड्स शाहीर शेख और रुचिका कपूर जल्द ही एम्ब्रेस करेंगे पेरेंटहुड? टीवी के मोस्ट पॉपुलर एक्टर्स में से एक शाहीर शेख, जिन्होंने नवंबर 2020 में अचानक अपनी वेडिंग की अनाउंसमेंट के बाद कई फीमेल फैंस का दिल तोड़ दिया था, अब एक बार फिर सुर्खियों में हैं। Sources का कहना है that Shaheer Sheikh and Ruchikaa Kapoor are expecting their first child, and Ruchikaa Kapoor is in the first trimester of her pregnancy. Reportedly, इस good news के बाद से ही Shaheer Sheikh and Ruchikaa Kapoor हैं over the moon and are looking forward to embracing the new phase of their lives. लेकिन साथ ही शाहीर शेख और रुचिका कपूर are keen to keep the news under wraps. The source close to Shaheer Sheikh and Ruchikaa Kapoor said, Shaheer is known to keep a low profile in the media and doesn't like to talk about his personal life. He has been tight-lipped about the news, keeping in mind the current pandemic situation in the country. Ruchikaa is in her first trimester. They are both looking forward to embracing this new phase in their lives. भले ही शाहीर शेख और रुचिका कपूर ने इस बारे में कोई ऑफिशियल अनाउंसमेंट नहीं की है, but their fans are ecstatic about this piece of news. शाहीर शेख और रुचिका कपूर कॉमन फ्रेंड्स के थ्रू करीब 3 साल पहले मिले थे and their friendship soon blossomed into love. वैसे शाहीर शेख और रुचिका कपूर के घर से आई गुड न्यूज की रिपोर्ट्स के बाद अब शाहीर शेख न सिर्फ उन सेलेब्स की लिस्ट में शामिल हो गए हैं जो जल्द ही पेरेंट्स बनने वाले हैं, बल्कि शाहीर शेख उन सेलेब्स की लिस्ट में भी शामिल हो गए हैं who announced pregnancy soon after their marriage. आपको बता दें, जहां जल्द ही किश्वर मर्चेंट और सुयश राय भी अपने फर्स्ट बेबी को वेलकम करेंगे, वहीं कपिल शर्मा ने भी दिसंबर 2018 में गिन्नी चाथरथ के साथ शादी के बाद दिसंबर 2019 में अपनी फर्स्ट चाइल्ड बेबी गर्ल अनायरा शर्मा को वेलकम किया था और इसी साल फरवरी में कपिल शर्मा ने बेबी बॉय त्रिशान को भी वेलकम किया था। इंटरेस्टिंगली कपिल शर्मा ने भी अपने दोनों बच्चों के बर्थ की न्यूज को लास्ट मोमेंट में एडमिट किया था। लेट्स सी कि शाहीर शेख अपने फैंस और वेल विशर्स के साथ इस न्यूज को कब तक शेयर करेंगे।